That's a the song by Francisco Torga, the early 1900s classical Spanish guitarist. Second try, practiced a little more, and went better. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Song. I recommend it for all guitarists out there. Works on your finger work.
You know it's tricky. Tricky. Welcome to the podcast, folks. It's Two Lonely Boys in a Canoe. I'm Chris Evans. That's Trevor Alstrom. How you doing today, Trevor?
Also good. Chris Evans, also known as Gravel Shits. I'm also known as Gorgeous George. And we have our kitty Ferrari with us.
Yeah.
I'm good, man. Work was smooth. It wasn't as hot as I thought it would be. No one went too crazy on the buses, but the world was definitely crazy today. So, yeah, I got through it. Work was fix saw blades, and there you go.
Oh, yeah.
How was your day, man?
It was alright. Did some stuff. Got some things done. Moved around.
Thanks.
Progress.
It's good.
Always moving forward. Progression.
Yep, always moving forward, never backward. Progression. Very nice. Very good. Do you have any podcast announcements or?
We got the next episode getting uploaded here shortly. Probably, probably gonna be this weekend sometime.
Yeah, I'll be off, so I'll do it.
Yeah, we'll get it uploaded
by
for
next
you
Sunday,
guys.
we'll have 37 up and 38 hopefully.
That one's gonna be a good one. I'll sharpen these blades.
Yeah, we had Chris Kennan, aka Silver Squirrel, and my friend
We had
Dylan
Silver Squirrel and Dylan over here, and had a good time chit-chatting and bullshitting. Yeah, man. So what do you got in the local news, Trevor?
Local news got some crazy shit actually happening. My boss, the guy in his 30s, he has a lot of buddies everywhere, and he has a friend that worked across the street on Highway 99 from the Putters mini golf place, and his friend works at the car lot there, and he warned his friend, who's my boss, and everyone else that, hey, there's a whole incident where a guy was rampaging with a car and hit and killed some people.
Oh, no.
And huge stretch of Highway 99 along Eugene got shut down.
Oh, wow.
Like right near the end of the workday. Like it happened around like 3:34, and by there I already heard like ambulances and fire trucks coming along from like the bus route. There's a part of it that does head off into on 99.
Did anybody know what was happening? Or
no,
why
it just happened. I really don't know.
Maybe there'll be something later on the news tonight about it.
It just happened.
Developing news.
But yeah, so local news shit's going crazy.
Shit's popping off, man.
Yeah. National news. Jackson, Mississippi's still waterless and is hoping out for change. And yeah, the newspaper article talked about some older people that remember from 1960 when it was a similar situation where they had to go to wells. And Jackson, Mississippi was in Yazoo County, and it seems from what I can briefly get, it seems like the old folks saying it's pretty much a repeat from what happened in 1960, where all water went bad and they had to go in wells and wait in line.
You think people give a fuck that someplace in Mississippi doesn't have water?
I mean, I care that, hey, you guys should just fix the issue as opposed to just having those big Nestle water deals, give them bottled water. But you're right, there's a lot of people that
just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's like Flint, Michigan. Like
Flint,
nobody
Michigan
cares.
If I had a way, and unfortunately, they don't care, and a big reason is because there's a lot of large, poor black neighborhoods in those areas.
Pretty much.
And that's, I mean...
If you're a minority and you live in...
Right there on the...
If you live in sewage or you live in fucking flood-prone areas, you know, the government and the fucking state aren't bending over backwards to make sure these people aren't displaced daily.
If it was in a rich white neighborhood with, like, golf course and, like, very exclusive... shit would be... There'd be a lot more shit happening real quick.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's fucked up.
It's hard being a minority in this country, man.
That's fucked.
It's hard being poor.
And we also just have the issue of just a lot of people, and unfortunately, sometimes the grid gets overwrought just from
It's infrastructure, man.
Infrastructure issues. There's been a lot of rain, a lot of floods down south. That's
As
flooded
global warming gets worse, you know, the infrastructure that we have is set up to take
up to date.
the basic, you know, and maybe a little bit of overflow. It's not meant for flash flooding every year, every season.
Shout out people that want to update our infrastructure, make it better for a changing world.
Yeah, Joe Biden had signed a big thing to do that. I think it was a few months back. That's one thing he has done a lot of since he's become president, is spent a bunch of money. So hopefully it's all going towards the right direction.
Yeah, hopefully it's going towards actually helping us at a
instead of
grassroots
hurting.
level.
Yeah.
I hope so, man.
We're all paying for it, you know. So hopefully all that money is going towards the right things.
And even if you're not paying taxes, if you're not adult, you probably at one point have paid taxes, and or you're going to pay one way or another.
Who doesn't pay taxes?
I mean, there's people on the streets that don't pay any taxes, but
Yeah, but I mean, that's like,
there's a lot of people on the streets right now.
yeah, but I don't know, man. I always don't count the people on the streets as a part of the working class, but they are.
Well, they're not part of our class
No,
right
they
now.
are. They are.
They're the part that have gotten out of the working, but
It's under the table, pretty much.
and there are a lot of people on the streets that do, if they're not doing stuff, if they're doing like quote unquote legitimate work, a lot of it's like day labor, sort of like
Well, I think a lot of the
day
times
work.
the state tax takes care of a lot of that stuff too. But in Oregon, there is no state tax. You know, you pay it through your taxes.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're a homeless person in Oregon, you know, you don't really have to pay a state tax.
Which, I mean, we were briefly, but we just got back to
Yeah.
it. But yeah, if you're long term, I'm not sure that works for long term
Yeah.
because we both got back to work. But I don't know. But we do have a new governor being elected soon, so woo, I
Kate
guess.
Brown's out of the office.
Kate Brown's getting out pretty soon.
Who's going to become the new governor?
There's a bunch of people running. There's some chick named Kochek who's Democrat.
Alex Scarlatta. Is
I don't
that
know.
one of them?
But we
I
have
keep hearing all these political ads.
yes,
for Oregon
because
and stuff.
right around your birthday. For those
Yeah.
that don't know, Chris's birthday is right around election time.
Yeah.
This November they're going to be doing the governor race for Oregon,
Yeah.
and I think probably all governor races across the country pretty soon.
This is a gay thing about
Yeah.
sharing a birthday with a fucking political holiday.
I would hate.
And it's not even like the exact same day, but it's within the week of.
So everyone's talking
And
about it.
It's always the thing, you know.
It's like
And then
people's birthday
everybody's
around
always
Christmas.
like, did you get out and vote? And I'm like, I don't believe in your politics. I don't believe in your bullshit voting system. And they're like, come on, man. And I'm like, no, I don't believe in your bullshit voting system.
I honestly agree with you, Chris.
Even the
I
state
honestly
by
agree.
state, I still struggle to think that any of my fucking input makes any change.
There's enough corruption out there that we
if
honestly
you
don't matter.
want it to be done bad enough, there's somebody to pay off to make sure that happens.
Even with things being online, I mean, look at what happened with the last election,
Just
or
in the
even
last-
before, like any of the last few elections. There's always issues.
It's like within the last, I don't know, 8 years of elections and fraud.
2000, that was bad too. Bush, they cheated
Yeah.
like motherfuckers too.
Well, with Bush, it was weird because what he ended up winning was the House of Representatives, the Electoral College, and Al
He lost the
Gore.
popular.
Al Gore
won the
had,
popular vote.
had the popular vote, so more individual people wanted Al Gore,
but more rich people,
but more
Or-
people that were on the, Republican side. Pretty
more
much.
rich people
Yeah.
swayed the electoral college.
Yep. And that's the fucked
And his
up
brother's
part.
also the governor too at the time of your state, Jim
Well,
Bush.
that's the fucked up part is that you begin to learn that, all right, your votes as a state go to represent numbers of people in your state. So the states like California, Florida, New York,
Texas.
these big states that have a lot of people, they swing way more heavily in the political parties than, that's why it's always a big thing to win Texas or to win California or to win Florida, because it carries a lot of electoral votes. But I don't think that that's how it should be done, man. If we have the ability, and it would take a lot of time, but if we had the ability to count every vote, we should do that. Count them, see where it all lands, and then we'll figure it out in the middle. But people are weird about how politics are played.
Yeah.
They really are. And I don't think people want politics to work. I think that they're so used to it not working that they wouldn't know what to do if
Especially like
people actually did their jobs.
Especially organizations like organized crime would have a hard time if government was no longer corrupt and just actually did what it was supposed to. Like,
If everybody
organized crime
stopped
would
taking bribes and everybody stopped lying and everybody just
they
told
stopped
the
being
truth.
shitheads, and then they actually did what they're supposed to.
They
actually worked.
act like they had moral character.
And they actually worked. Like, actually, we're gonna get this shit done.
Yeah, we're not going on
Pity
vacation or none of that
We're
shit
getting this
until
done.
we have these things done. That's my whole other gripe about Congress is they
They're
fucking
getting
take
paid.
vacations and they take
More than
days
anybody.
off.
More than
and
any of us.
They get all these weird holidays and
They get paid.
it's crazy, man, because they show up for a few days out of the month to do a few photo opportunities and to sign a couple pieces of paper, and then they call that a month. That was July. It's weird.
That is crazy.
And then they try to act like they're doing all this big shit behind the scenes. These motherfuckers ain't doing nothing but publicity.
Publicity.
Yeah, publicity. Try to say that 5 times fast.
I wouldn't.
Publicity. It's really hard. Yeah.
So I
go ahead.
have some big fucking world news.
Big news. We got the big news here.
The Queen is
the big
dead.
cheese is dead. Yeah, I heard.
God save the Queen.
No, don't save the Queen. Let her be. She's old enough.
She was 96.
She fucking lived a life. She lived a life and then some. She spit on a lot of poor people.
She was the
Let her
third.
go.
She was in charge. Actually, one of the earlier podcasts I talked about, she had just gotten to 70 years, the fucking platinum bullshit thing being in charge. And third longest known monarch ever in recorded history to be in charge. That's way too long.
R.I.P. old white lady. But all I'm saying right now is that fucking family in particular has pissed on England for the last fucking
hundreds of
years.
Hundreds of years.
So I understand that there are some people in England and in the UK that give a shit about the royal family. But I bet most of the people, most of the working class, don't give a flying fuck that this bitch is dead.
Like
it changes nothing about their lives.
Yeah. And that's the big reason why punk rock in England was so strong, because it was about the poor working class, and they were the ones saying, like, hey, this is bullshit between the Queen and Margaret Thatcher and everything.
It's like this whole family has all this money and all this wealth where most of their fucking country has problems.
Yeah, Britain definitely has problems.
But they have a lot of positives in England too, but like I just hate that concept of people that hoard money or that hoard wealth.
Generation after generation.
I understand leaving money for your family and leaving money for people that need it and stuff like that. But while you're
a different level.
And while you have the capacity of having that wealth, use it for some good, man. And I don't know, rich people always make that argument. Oh, I do donate. And No. I'm not talking about that, man.
I mean,
if you're gonna make $80 billion next year,
donate.
I
79.
want you to donate fucking 70 of it.
Yeah, if you're gonna,
because you don't need more than $10 billion.
Yeah.
Not in a year.
If you do gain that money, donate most of it, and then keep a tiniest fraction just to get by. Be okay. Don't be eating dog food, in an alleyway, but enough to be comfortable.
Also,
I guess.
Here on the other hand, the argument is that once you give somebody that amount of money, who's to say they're going to manage it properly? Yeah, they're gonna take all that good money that you just gave
That's-
up. And they're
that's-
gonna mismanage the fuck out of it.
That's why you should break it up between a lot of smaller things. Like instead of giving it all to one company, like
You
hey,
go
man,
save
it's
a
70
country
bucks.
in Africa. You know,
Yeah.
you go save one country in Africa
Yeah,
a
dude.
year.
If I had enough money to save a country in Africa, I would do it. Like, hey, I would. I would be like, yes, here you go.
It's just weird. I don't know. I think that when you gain a lot of money, the mindset changes too. Like, it's no longer about the rest of the world. It's about how much you can spread your wealth around so that all your friends and family are happy, and so that you can look like a good person as you do it, you know, while gaining a ton, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's all about the public image, man. All those billionaires and shit, they just want to keep a good public image so that nobody hates them. Because motherfuckers...
Bill Gates, Elon Musk.
Yeah, motherfuckers... That's what I want. I want, like, purge rules. I want addresses of all these people to be published once a year. And then
100%.
all the poor people just show up to their front door and ask for your shit back.
And if they happen to break in a riot, well, you shouldn't have been that.
Let's start a riot.
Oh,
A riot.
Oh, God.
Let's start a riot.
So many actual punk songs way better than that. Ugh. Anyways, so yeah,
Avenged
Queen's-
Sevenfold sucks.
But yeah, I actually do have a quick, brief album review.
Yeah.
And
Do
it's
it, man.
because of the
Trevor's
Queen.
album review.
Because of the Queen dying.
MTV News.
I decided to go with the classic, the band Sex Pistols,
Mm-hmm.
the album Nevermind the Bullocks, and the song God Save the Queen. It was literally a fuck you to the Queen. So I feel like today would be the perfect day to do that. So yeah, band Sex Pistols, album Nevermind the Bullocks, and then God Save the
So
Queen.
what
song.
happens now? The
Classic
Queen,
punk song.
The Queen is
Classic
dead.
anthem.
And
King
who
Charles.
takes over?
Charles, her son's gonna be King Charles III. Look,
King Charles, that dude.
the guy that was the husband of Princess Diana.
Okay.
So he still lived. He's an old man now, but
Who takes on after him? There's
his
just
son, his oldest son, William.
there's a bunch of
William.
lines of these people
Yeah.
of like who takes over.
And
the
they're all.
money.
What's crazy is they're intermingled with other countries too. Which, if like European history is so mind numbing, if you look at, like, the king of Spain is also has cousins that's like the king of Russia and has a brother that's the king of England and like.
Duchess of something. And
Yeah, dude, and like someone has royalty
of
with,
York.
yeah, is like Ottoman over in Turkey or like.
They just keep making up statuses, man. They don't. They run out of statuses, so they keep making them up.
They just-
You're
yeah.
the Duke of dandelions.
Yeah.
Yes. You have the dukeness over all the dandelions.
You are the Archbishop of Duffer, Oregon. Like, yay! Or like
Okay.
you are the Baron of this alleyway. Like, yes, okay. You are the Lord of this pit.
Yes.
You're the Lord of this stone pit.
pit.
Shout out to Matt McCusker and Shane Gillis.
Matt and Shane Secret
What's-
Podcast.
The episode's called Twisties. It talks
Yeah.
about one
Twisted teas and a dude on the job drinking.
a man drinking Twisties despite the overwhelming desire of the Lords of the Pit to collect all the rocks in the Northeast. All of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Queen's dead. But yeah, Sex Pistols, real quick. They're an influential band that definitely helped really popularize punk rock in 1976 and kicked it in the pants. And probably one of the most important punk bands and rock and roll history as far as like, they weren't the most technical, but they had the right place at the right time, like the Beatles. Like, they were literally the Beatles, one of the Beatles of the 70s, of just
Nice.
kicking shit. And then Ramones and all that in the U.S. happening, and then the punk movement, and then kind of going along parallel with that, the metal movement.
Hell
Brown Schaffen really kicked off in the 70s. And Sex Pistols influenced even, like, metal bands, punk bands, like one of those bands that influenced many, many genres, including rock, including rap and shit.
Well, I always
Yeah.
love how, like, some people will say, oh, man, I hate this kind of music. And then they'll go listen to their favorite song. And I'm like, hey, you know some of that's influenced by that music you hate, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, what? No.
Like, honestly, like, Yeah, even guys you wouldn't expect. Like there's a rapper now called Little Uzi Vert, who's a big like new rapper, part of the mumble rap scene. He was
part of the Littles. He's part of the
part of
Littles.
the many Littles. But I heard him. He was influenced by punk rock a lot. Even
Little aloe vera.
Little aloe vera. What up, Allie? But yeah,
Little water bottle.
Little mug.
Little lighter.
Little lighter.
Little bits. Little bit of weed.
Yeah. But yeah, there's even rappers that, they mention like G.G. Allen, someone you wouldn't expect to be a guy that now does like drill rap, but that guy one time was like, man, this crazy punk rock shit over here is pretty interesting. So yeah, shit you wouldn't expect.
People are fun, man. People are really fun, and music is so intermingled at this point. Like, it's all good, pretty much. I mean, there are some songs out there when I hear, I'm just like, this is radio play pop stuff.
Like the Jonas Brothers.
Well, they always have a new version of them. I think it's BTS now is the North Korean boy band that everybody loves. Yeah.
The North Korean, not South North Korean.
Some Korean. But they're all a bunch of
South Korean.
They're all a bunch of young Asian kids that look like young Asian girls, which I guess that's the new look. But
They're being very woke. Yeah.
It's different times, man.
Different times.
Yeah. There's no place for a girl with big old banana tits with her shirt off sitting on her boyfriend's shoulders at a concert.
You know what? I hope you have a chick with big banana tits that sits sometime on your lap at a concert.
So. I've had a girl on my shoulders at a show before, and I'll tell you this. If the girl is small enough and light enough, no problem at all.
Not if she's a big gal, obviously.
But if she's even of average size, like for a girl, what do you say, 100 and 130 pounds, 120 pounds?
Women are a little bit smaller than men generally.
That amount of weight for an hour, that shit will fuck your spine up. It'll fuck your shoulders up, your neck.
Especially because it's all right here. It's not like a backpack where it's dragged down. It's all directly on
your shoulders and your back. So, ladies, I get it. You're trying to have a good time at the concert and you want to be able to see. Stop crushing your boyfriends. Stop crushing your boyfriends down with gravity.
They're not robots.
Well, just think of it like you imagine holding a human up for a grown adult for, an extended period.
Yeah.
Like, some people do that all show. They'll have a fucking chick on their shoulders for 3 hours. It's like, whoa. But I dated a girl one time, and she was very light. She was a short girl, and I had her on my shoulders for like an hour. Barely noticed. She was kind of like a hat, Yeah.
Gryffindor.
But, I'd notice every once in a while because she'd, pat me on the head or something. Like, what are you doing?
Good job, horsey. You're the horse at that point. You're a horse, of course. All right. We also got... Do you have any shows you've been watching recently you'd like to talk about, possibly?
You can get back into Sons of Anarchy a little bit. Sons of Anarchy is a pretty dope show.
Let's talk about the show. I've seen a little bit with you, and it's a pretty good show.
I've been rewatching season 5. There's a really interesting episode where kind of the guys had just gotten out of prison, or they're about to go back into prison, and spoiler alert, Opie gets killed. He gets his head crushed in by a bunch of black guys in prison.
Oh, and, I've actually seen this.
I've seen.
Yeah.
And then one of the guys, Tig, he kind of went ballistic before they went in, and he tried to kill one of the other guys, one of the main gang's other head dudes, and then he ended up killing one of the bigger guy's daughters. And so he took Tig's daughter and put her in a fucking pit, and he poured a bunch of gasoline on her and lit her on fire.
Fuck.
And he had him watch his daughter burn to death. And then they were going to kill him, but he ended up getting the drop on this guy. He shot him. He called his friends. They came to pick him up. And then they were going to get his other daughter because they knew she was in trouble. And when they go to the house, there's a couple of black guys there, and they think they're there to hurt the daughter. and they burst into the room, and there's a black dude fucking his daughter.
Damn.
And he just loses it immediately and starts beating the guy up, and then realizes that his daughter's dating the black guy, and it has nothing to do with the gang or anything.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Really crazy episode. The whole show was written so well, interwovenly. So each season's pretty great. Sons of Anarchy, like as a show, it's probably like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Motorcycles.
It's pretty good. Yeah, nice. Pretty good show. Also a lot of good music on that too.
Tons of great music. Yeah. I swear to God, man, I always forget how important music is to a good show.
Hell yeah.
Until you actually have like a great soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
It's game changing, especially when there's like those pivotal moments.
Especially if shows like Dukes of Hazzard, like Y50, they all had like memorable theme songs.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of where it starts. Is like the Andy Griffith Show, man. Like people always know that fucking whistling. Yeah. Hope he drops the pole and picks it back up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people know that shit. Golden Girls, thank you for being a friend.
Oh,
that song
yeah.
is burning everybody's head, man.
Yeah,
such a cool show, such a fun theme song. Family Matters, that was another one that got burned into my head.
I've seen that show.
Inside these chiseled walls, and all I see is a tower of dreams, real love bursting out of every seam. Days go by, and it's the real love of the family.
I'd give you a 7 singing wise, but the Queen died today, so I give you an 8.
What'd you say?
God save the Queen. No, it's not bad.
I remember that theme song because I used to have that playing on a lot when I go to bed, like Nick at Night or something. Fall asleep to Family Matters.
There you go. I remember like that 70s show. I watch it sometimes.
Happy Days.
Yeah.
Happy Days was
Happy
a real
Days.
one.
Or even
Brady Bunch.
Or even, yeah, if you want to go like super far back, you could do like certain, like, there's cowboy shows too where they had a famous song.
That's how it goes, man. A good soundtrack, good.
Like rolling, 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 got them doggies moving, rawhide, like the show Rawhide, moving over, like it's a
Trevor's showing
song.
his old person age here, folks. He knows Rawhide.
I've seen that show. Shows it.
The only time I'd watch the old westerns, it was pretty funny because I used to work at a grocery store. And they had a small TV up in the break room. And usually my break, there was like nobody else in the break room for the most part.
Because you're a different time.
Yeah. I went to break a little bit later. So I'd go up in there and I'd sit down. I usually reheat some food. And I'd watch like these old westerns.
That's sick.
And it was
awesome.
actually kind of nice because the TV was like small enough and like it was close to the table. So it was just like, I don't know, you got lost in the little 30-minute episode, and that was your lunch pretty much.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah. That's sick.
A lot of Bonanza.
Oh, Bonanza's good.
Yeah.
Was it VHS or?
No, it was just on. That was like, this was right before they did away with all the channels if you didn't have it like the analog.
Oh, yeah.
So this was like it was like 8 years ago. But yeah, there was that, the Wendy Williams show. Every once in a while you get lucky
they got rid of all the.
It
sucks they got rid of all the analog.
Yeah, well, whatever. Nobody gives a fuck much anymore, anyways.
Times are changing.
Times is changing, but like, yeah, Cops would be on every once in a while. Yeah. That was a real special treat if you caught Cops, because you'd have to be there. I think it was like 2:30. Then it was like judge shows.
Hell yeah. You got some ganja stuff you want to talk about?
Yeah, be careful of under and over watering your plants. I'm going through it right now. I fucking overwatered and stressed my plant, and then I could have watered it yesterday and I didn't, and then before when it went to bed this morning, I noticed it had even more damage from not getting water the day before. So just be careful with your waterings, people. Make sure you're keeping a detailed log. Something I'm not doing right now. It's funny. My first run, I wanted to just kind of grow how I did 5 years, 6 years ago, and see how far I got. With a couple of tweaks, and I did pretty well. And then this run is pretty much more of the stuff that I've learned out here and kind of pushing my plants as hard as I can. But my system isn't completely dialed in yet. So they're doing very well. On a scale of 1 to 10, maybe an 8 out of 10. They could be a little bit bigger, but that's always the thing with weed. You can always use more. But I think that the next run, I'm going to keep a detailed log of every feeding. I'm going to keep a day-to-day calendar. I'm going to do a checklist. I'm going to go to the nines to make sure that they're having consistent feedings and consistent pH levels and decent nutrient uptake. Because the objective at one point is to not have to do anything as much, to pretty much automate the system to where the lights are coming on and off. There's a small drip system, so I don't have to water, and then all I have to do is make feed for the drip system. But that is down the road. Right now, it's kind of perfecting the technique, and then once the technique's perfected or better, I can implement more of an automation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it's all progress, baby. All progress. The buds are looking great. I just checked on them before we started.
It's awesome.
And that other plant that I got hanging, I'm definitely thinking that's a blueberry.
Okay.
Yeah, I smelled it again today. I was like, it's blueberry as fuck. I'm waiting to see when we taste it. It'll be like a week or so.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I could do coming to town pretty soon once again.
Camptown Races, sing this song.
Doo-dah, doo-dah.
Camptown Races, half mile long, all the doo-dah
day. Doo-dah day.
Wait, what is the
It's
last
Camptown
part?
Races. It's Camptown Races.
No, I know, but what's the last
Stephen
part?
Foster.
What's the last part of it? Is somebody and then bet on the bag, somebody bet on the some shit. I forget. Camptown Races. Look up the lyrics.
It's crazy because that and Old Susanna is pretty much the same melody. And this what's crazy is that was actually Stephen Foster's one of the first guy to Camptown Races and like Old Susanna, all that shit. Dude, he was coming out. That was a hit in like 1838 and shit.
That's
like
how
when
we
the Pioneers,
roll, baby. 1830.
1838. The Pioneers would rock that shit. That'd be like the pop hit along all the prairies, along all the wagon trains with Stephen Foster.
Doing the hokey pokey to
Yeah. So that'd be crazy. You're on the wagon train, and then like you hear that new artist, Stephen Foster. Man, you hear that new song.
It'd be so weird to find out that like while you were on the road, because it takes you
Like on the trail.
Yeah, on the trail. While
To
you're
Oregon,
on the
like
trail,
we're at now, the Oregon Trail.
and while you were trying to find your new settlement and shit. There's just this wave of music happening that you don't know. And then you get back to town and everyone's like, you haven't heard?
There's this new guy in town.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, Stephen Foster's one of the first major American
It's your cousin,
artists.
Marvin Berry. Take
Chuck
a
Berry.
listen to this.
No. Oh, Johnny be good.
You know that new sound you've been looking for?
Yeah.
Camptown Races, sing this song, dude.
Oh shit, that fiddle slaps. Yeah. Stephen Foster slaps. There you go. But anyways, there is this guy coming to town September 11th. Never forget. But there's this.
Forget what?
Saudi Arabia paid off some people to go and crash some planes. A lot of people died, and then we went and did some illegal wars and use that as a pretext.
When did this happen?
In our lifetimes.
No way.
Actually, we're lying, folks. The world is flat. The food pyramid is real.
I've been living under a rock, obviously. I've never heard of this.
Also, Chris, since Reddit, birds
you
are...
imagine somebody that's never heard of 9/11? Like, what the fuck?
Then I'd be like, birds aren't real. And I would just whisper to them, and then I would
The person that doesn't know about 9/11, I'd start questioning a lot of things. I'd be like, what else don't you know? And they'd be like, well, I don't know. You tell me. I'd be like, so, you know we had a black guy as president? No way.
Halfway. Okay. Yeah.
He was good. He was real good.
Did a lot of droning still, but yeah.
Somebody's got to kill somebody, man. Might as well be us.
I know the entire drone business made so much money from that war.
It was a practice run.
It was
a practice run.
For all the, yeah.
The technology hadn't quite been developed fully yet.
Yeah,
so
Halliburton.
While we were there, we practiced, and now drone technology is way advanced.
Oh yeah, compared to like 2002, first fade Iraq, it's come a long way in 20 years.
They used to only be able to send out drones as spies. They were
Yep.
basically like smaller or bigger.
They're pretty much like
crafts.
fucking like little RV like planes.
Yep.
Like you get at a hobby shop.
Exactly.
Little that could hover. Like imagine a slightly more advanced like hovering helicopter.
But now
RV
they have
thing.
drones with flight capabilities.
They can fire weapons.
They can fire weapons.
Drop bombs.
That can drop bombs. That can see you from fucking miles away, man. And it's a crazy thing because you don't need to be in the same state to kill a motherfucker.
No, that's
You know?
fucking scary. It's not quite like sending just a plane output. I mean, it's getting closer and closer to just an unmanned plane, which is what a drone is at this point, or trying to get there.
Well, what happens when, the drones eventually get to everybody? Because everybody's
Skynet.
everybody's going to have this technology eventually.
Yeah, dude.
And
Eventually,
then the drones will be everywhere.
look, Skynet's gonna happen. We're gonna have to like suddenly be an '80s movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like,
You know that's
fucking
why the
Ramsey
guy...
artificial intelligence, man.
You know that's why that guy bombed the Oklahoma City building?
Timothy McVeigh.
No.
That's the name of the guy who bombed it.
Who's the other guy?
Timothy McVeigh was the one that got charged. There were other guys at the scene, but they escaped. He was the one that got charged.
So who was the guy that was an MIT student?
Ted Kaczynski, the
Ted
Unabomber.
Kaczynski, the Unabomber.
And I grew up when
his
he was
whole thing was that technology was going to take over and ruin everybody's lives, and it was going to take us over entirely. So that's where he went nuts and was like, I'm going to blow some shit up.
Unfortunately, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong at all.
He's not wrong. He
And
just
that's
went about it. He went about it a crazy way.
Extremist way,
But he's not wrong that here we are talking, but even things you and I did as kids, if things keep the way and you're like near a city in 70 years, kids are going to be, like, oh shit, you guys sometimes like houses still cooked with fire? Like, yeah, or just like...
Well, I think that there's going to be a divide between a lot of people that still do things with their hands, and there's going to be a divide where people are just fully engulfed with the technology and having everything prepared for them. You know what I mean? Because you imagine at the touch of a button having breakfast ready? That's kind of hard for somebody to pass up.
I would not do it, though.
It'd be interesting, because not necessarily saying you have to use it for every facet of your life, but if I could fucking press a button, have coffee going, have fucking some eggs going and shit pretty fast.
They're trying to do that now.
Pretty amazing.
They're trying to do that now with like some of the the newer like home security systems where you can use your phone.
ADT.
Yeah, ADT like.
The Ring doorbell camera has got to be the best thing that's ever happened to home defense and not social media. Well, yeah, social media. Because those little Ring doorbell cameras, those videos go online so fast.
Yeah.
Everybody looks at them and goes, oh shit, look at this crazy person trying to get in the house.
Yeah. I saw one where a guy this white dude stuck his arm in through the mail slot and this like 300-pound black man immediately swung right at the elbow.
I showed you that.
I've seen it from my boss too, but it immediately smacked him with like looked like a section of like a 4x4, like someone uses a fence post. Like looked like he just came down the street with a fence post. Immediately hear the guy scream because he immediately just broke that dude's arm right there, and he managed to pull it out and stumbled away.
Pull it out.
Pull it out.
He's just using his dick. And the black guy just used his giant dick to crush his arm.
Just had a hard on. He was feeling it, and just swung that bitch down like
He's
a
like,
kick
I'm
like
about
a
to
club.
break this motherfucker's arm.
Yep.
Fucking man, that's nuts. But yeah, no, fucking. They had a guy recently on a Ring doorbell camera. He was trying to get into his ex-girlfriend's house.
Yeah.
And the girl was in the living room with her parents, and her dad had a gun. And he was trying to get in, and the dad's threatening him. He's like, you know, if you don't go away, I'm gonna shoot you.
Oh shit.
And the kid kept trying to get in. Eventually, the dad shot at him, and shot him through the door, and shot him 3 times, and that kid is dead. But now there's probably going to be an investigation a little bit. He didn't go to jail for it because technically there was just a new stand your ground law passed in that state.
Is it Texas?
I don't think so, because Texas already has the stand your ground.
Nah.
But yeah, it's just weird, man. You know, all the shit that you think you would never capture on your front fucking door, but there's a lot of crazy shit out there.
Well, there's a lot of people that are high on drugs running around too, all times of the day. So that definitely.
Imagine how many times you're not home and somebody's trying to break into your door.
Fortunately, we're on the 3rd floor, but yeah, at our old place, dude. I'm sure that
Trevor had boots stolen. God damn, that sucked.
I was so mad because
Trevor had special orders, some custom kick-ass boots for work. Came home expecting them to be there. Gone. Nowhere to be found.
And then I got in an argument with this dude on the phone. And yeah, this Indian dude was not having any sympathy.
I remember helping that out because I was a little bit cooler headed, and you were like,
I was mad as
and
fuck.
I was like, well, Trevor, being mad at this dude's not going to get you any boots any faster.
But sir, you signed the paper. You signed the paper. I don't give a fuck.
I didn't sign no goddamn paperwork.
I'm going to sign the death warrant to your mom after I'm done doing bad things to her.
Who's the dude from Death Wish? Oh, god damn it. Oh, no.
That's right.
I want to say Russell, but it's not Russell. Russell Westbrook? No. Basketball player.
So that sounds like a Celtic guitar player. By the way,
It's Brolin. Something Brolin.
Josh Brolin.
No.
Brolin's an Irish name.
Fuck. Now I'm gonna be stuck on that.
Or we could just move on to another thing.
Nope. I'm looking it up. I'm breaking protocol.
Alright. So anyways, while he does that, we have on September 11th a place called Tsunami Books here in Eugene. We have apparently a world-renowned Celtic fingerstyle guitarist virtuoso named Tony McManus. Yes, no, Tony and then McManus. McManus. He's going to play, and apparently he plays really well. And his family were Irish immigrants
Charles Bronson.
that moved over to
Charles
Scotland. And then he kept playing and got
It's
really
Charles
good.
Bronson, everybody.
Charles Bronson.
Sorry.
Very famous actor.
So what were you saying about September 11th?
There's this Celtic fingerstyle guitarist virtuoso named Tony McManus. Who's
How do you spell virtuoso?
Virtuoso. So he's really proficient is what it means. He's extremely good. Tony McManus, and I think I've actually heard the name before, and he's going to play at Tsunami Books here in town September 11th. If it's free, dude, I might just go. Because it's downtown. It's by the bus station.
What do you think it is? Probably a few bucks to get in?
I don't know. I have no idea. I can find out.
Why don't you look it up?
Yeah, I will after the show. But yeah, he's
Trevor's all pumped, man.
hell yeah. But yeah, he's just talking about how traditional Irish music really mixed with rock and roll music in the 70s, like the whole Irish punk thing, like the Pogues, and then eventually became
Northern Ireland versus regular
Yeah.
Ireland.
Catholic Ireland, which is most of Ireland, versus the small percentage of
Protestant.
because they were English immigrants that came over.
You're weird. You're a different Christian.
Yeah, it's so dumb. But anyway, his family moved over from Ireland to Scotland in the 70s. He talked about how music was definitely a highlight because
Still to
things
this
are weird.
day, they haven't found Nessie, folks.
Nope. They never will, folks.
That fucking Troglosaurus is dead.
Troglodyte?
Troglosaurus.
Troglosaurus? Is that the name of the episode?
Right. This Troglosaurus is dead.
This Troglosaurus. How in the flying fuck of all fucks do I spell Troglodosaurus? Troglodytosaurus.
So, spell Trogla, and
So
then
wait,
spell Saurus.
Can I just call it Troglodytosaurus?
No, Troglosaurus.
You're a monster. Okay.
No, it's not a monster. That's the thing. They don't understand. It's not a monster.
That was a joke
The
without a joke.
Troglosaurus isn't a monster. It doesn't exist. Nessie's bullshit. Okay?
That's their own
Nessie's
super version.
bullshit.
It's their own super version. Yes. Keep rolling with it. Go.
You know
go.
what I'm gonna say right now?
What?
Nessie's bullshit and Bigfoot is real.
What
Bigfoot-
about aliens? Where do UFOs fit in this? I'm just saying, since we're going.
Baby Fark McGee's ex. Okay, I'll say that. If you've seen South Park, you know who Baby Fark McGee's ex is. And he has already let us know that we are barred from the rest of the universe because we're pieces of shit. So that's a South Park deep cut.
Stroglosaurus is dead.
Yeah, Bigfoot, man, he's for real though. I've seen him. I met him. He's a big dude. He's named Frank.
Hey, yeah. I heard Frank has worked as a baker before. He used to work at a bakery over on 6th Street.
No, man, Frank was in Nam.
But when he got back from Nam,
No.
because he got baked for, because he, full of his PTSD,
The only thing
would,
he
would
ever
get
sold
baked all the
that
time.
was baked and dough-like was churros. He sold them outside of the Mexico-American border for about 3 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
vato. Oh.
Yeah, Frank Bigfoot James is his name.
He was also a time cop, too.
No, he was never a time cop, Trevor. You're not getting it. He lived 1,000 years, so he beat up Hitler. He was one of the guys that was beating up Hitler. He
He
lived...
didn't kill him. He just came over to Hitler and was like,
Yeah.
and then just ran away real quick.
He was the
Hitler,
dude,
yeah.
He was the dude that started
I jabbed
out World War II, man. He thought he was Jewish. He thought Frank James was...
Frank Bigfoot James.
was Jewish. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. you know? But yeah, he beat up Hitler. He fucked Anne Frank. He blinded Helen Keller.
Helen Keller.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got a joke on that real quick.
What's up?
If someone tells you something that's bullshit, just tell them hey, that's as useless as a drum kit in Anne Frank's apartment. There you go, Anne Frank joke, folks.
I guess. You mean Helen Keller?
I mean, Anne Frank was the Jewish chick that was. Are we talking Helen Keller or Anne Frank right now?
I don't know. You were the one bringing it up.
I'm stoned and drunk, people.
I think you mean Helen Keller.
Okay.
A drum set in Helen Keller's room.
Well, Anne Frank was hiding though.
Yeah, well, it'd be better to say,
Okay. Okay, I'll tell you a Helen Keller joke. All right, I'll tell you one. Why did Helen Keller's dog kill himself?
because he was starving.
Because you too would if your name was.
No. An Anne Frank joke would be, what did the little Jewish girl say in the attic?
What?
She didn't say much.
That's good. That's good. Hey, what do you call a Jewish Pokemon trainer? Ash.
Oh no, that's bad.
Folks, we're kidding. We do not hate
Trevor's
the Jews.
the real racist.
I am not the racist.
Trevor's racist as fuck.
No.
Once this mic goes off, man, you should hear all the N-words he drops.
That is not true.
He starts flipping out. I'm just like, yo, calm it down. I have to tranquilize him sometimes. I got a tranquilizer gun.
Yeah.
He's on the loose again. Problem is the tranks take time to take effect, so he goes from 10 to 6 to 3, and
Right.
then eventually lays down.
Rush Limbaugh just starts playing in the background for no reason.
It's Limp Bizkit, Ba with the Ba, or it's Kid Rock, Ba with the Ba.
It's him doing like Rush Limbaugh words from a speech, but he's rapping.
I wonder how many weird political figures Kid Rock hangs out with now.
Probably more than we'd like to know.
No, he's probably hanging out with all of them, man. He's
That's
probably
more
hanging
than-
out with Donald Trump and Donald Trump's best friend, Donald Trump.
I mean Vladimir Putin.
No, because Donald Trump's best friend is Donald Trump, man.
That's true.
He's like, I'm the only one that can have my back.
That reminds me how there's apparently a tradition in White House where the current sitting president and first lady will unveil a portrait of the previous presidents, a picture portrait of them, of the wife.
Yeah.
So
The only reason they didn't do that for Obama was because Trump was a piece of shit. And it's like, I'm not doing that.
yeah, he decided not to do it. So Biden
Biden's were like, yo, we got you, bro. We'll get you.
and
your
he was also
portraits.
vice president for Obama during that time. So
Yeah, he gave a funny speech where he kind of compared Joe Biden to his dog, but he didn't. It was just a weird. He was talking
Sleepy
about
Joe Biden.
Well, he was
Trump
talking
would call
about
him.
his dog, and then he like takes a left turn, and then he starts talking about how Joe Biden's a good friend. And I was like, I don't know, man. You're just talking about your dog. Ah. You compare him to a dog.
I've been called a dog before. Woo woo woo. It's a different kind.
I don't ever think I'm like a dog. I think I'm more like a mule.
Well,
Like,
I'm
I'm a weird fucking mix between a donkey and a fucking
It's a horse and a donkey's what makes a mule.
yeah. It's a horse and a donkey.
I've worked with mules before. There would be periods where I had to handle the mules that come in to bring their supplies in once a week.
Yeah.
And I worked them, and they were cool. They were honestly a lot smarter than the horse, because the horse, honestly, I feel like is the cheerleader of animals.
Yes.
Like, I'm the horse, look
Yeah.
at me. Whereas the mule was like, man, that branch looks a little suspicious. Or like, I've literally...
The donkeys are intelligent. That's a real thing. Horses are a little bit more.
They're stronger and they're taller. So it literally takes the brains of the donkey and the brawn of the horse and mixes them. And mules are interesting. And it's crazy. Is like, I guess, like, except for 1 in every 10,000, mules are generally infertile. So you have to literally, it's literally a male donkey, big old donkey dick, goes in the vagina of a female horse, and that's what makes a mule.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're pretty cool. Mules and I got along. Actually, that was one of my nicknames. Was mule, because I would work hard, but when I had to like stop and observe something like a donkey or a mule, I'd be like, man, these people are dumb, and I just watch them, and then something bad would happen.
I always just feel like a mule. Like, I always feel in my life like I always put everybody's problems and everybody's shit on my back. And then I'm like, all right, here we go. Yeah. I tend to think I fucking hold on to a lot of emotional baggage for other people.
Yeah.
I care a lot, man. That's a good quality and a bad quality. Maybe if the world had more people that gave a fuck, it'd be a nicer place, but
Unfortunately,
we live where we live. The world's sad. The world is a vampire. Communicate your desire.
Communicate. Yeah. I'm gonna have to play that after the show.
Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Sorry about the acapella, guys.
Sorry.
We're tired and stoned. Thursday's show is always a drag because we're both tired.
From work, because we both just gotten off a physical full day of work.
Yeah, and it's just so funny because our Sunday show, you've had 2 days to rest, and I'm about to begin my weekend.
So you're excited.
I'm amped up.
Yeah. So it's usually a beautiful
The energy
medium.
level on our Sunday show is like a 9.
Because,
and on our Thursday show, it's like a 6.
Because we're both just, we're in the middle of
Despite
shit.
all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage.
But tomorrow, Friday, is my Friday, so that's good.
I get paid tomorrow. That's going to be nice.
Hell yeah.
But all that money is going towards my credit card so I can buy some tires for my truck.
Yeah.
But it's all gravy. It's all gravy, baby.
So yeah.
That truck needs tires.
Hell yeah. What are the size of your rims?
15.
15?
Yeah.
That's them. Alright.
You about ready to wrap this, dude?
Yeah, by the way, any jokes we make, we don't mean any of them. We're not racist.
Trevor's so worried about you guys actually thinking he's a racist.
Not.
I couldn't give 2 fucks else because if you think I'm a racist, well, you're already barking up the wrong tree. But I'll listen to your crazy racist argument.
So anyway, just want to let you know out there, folks, we're not
Trevor,
bad. We're not bad
Trevor,
people.
you're such a safe little boy. I don't give a fuck
internet,
what
man.
anybody says or does on the internet. It's what you do to people in real life.
True.
If you are being a racist piece of shit like that guy at IHOP, fuck you.
Yeah, that guy was ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're coming in by the bus.
There's real
loads.
racist people out there to be
Yeah.
fucking mad at, not
Nah.
a couple of assholes making stupid jokes.
Yeah. So anyways, folks, look up for the real
Trevor's
racists.
worried. Trevor's worried. Get canceled. Blah 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 blah.
This fucking world, dude's getting too soft. That's the problem.
Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a
Alright.
cage. You can no longer sing that song.
There you go.
Yeah, I love that. That was great.
It's a song about
Having a bad
No.
reputation.
It's about the Troglosaurus.
Dun.
It's about the Troglosaurus. There you go.
Troglosaurus.
Troglosaurus.
All right, folks. Thanks for putting up with us. It's been an interesting show, but we're going to wrap this one up. Go check us out on YouTube at Two Lonely Boys in a Canoe podcast.
Yeah,
Trevor, you got
episodes
anything else to say or plug?
Yep, be good out there.
Yeah.
Try to suck a little less each day.
Try to suck a little less each day, unless you're a hooker. Then do that.
Or a
normal
trombone
shit.
player, you know.
I don't know.
That's like the joke, what does a hooker and a trombone player both have in common? They both play the bone for money.
All right, folks. Have a good one.
Later.